It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And it's Tuesday. And I am just coming back from 2.5 weeks up at the frozen north. Our ranch up in Northern California at the foot of Mount Shasta is currently covered in about 3 feet of snow. And yes, it was glorious. We had an actual white Christmas there. I played all the songs. You have to understand that coming from Southern California, I can't relate to I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas or Jingle Bells or any of those because we don't do snow. But up there, magic. I got to burn a fire in the fireplace every day. We played on a sled. We had our own winter wonderland. But folks, after, 5 days, I was done. I was ready for the snow to go. So I don't think I will ever be full-time up in Northern California. I think in the winter, I don't think I know. I want to be here. And oh my gosh, so gone for 2.5 weeks. Thank you, Messy Nate. Nate came and stayed with Bentley, the succulent dog. But the garden, I didn't give him any instructions because we had some rain while I was gone, as well as temperatures that were in the 50s, low 60s, dropping all the way down into the low 40s, high 30s Fahrenheit. So I knew the garden wouldn't need any water or anything. And look, this is testimony to the resilience of these plants. Don't panic if temps are dropping below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. As long as they stay above 32 or freezing, the succulents are going to love it. All of the jades, the crassulas are blooming. The Aeoniums are also in season and looking absolutely spectacular. I didn't get that cold. I still have leaves and flowers on my Bougainvillea. Even the Bougainvillea doesn't look nearly as bad as I thought it would. This hates cold. I usually cut it down to a nub at the first of every year. I'm going to let it ride as long as it looks good. My aloes, the Goliath, the Cameronii, all of them are just starting to come into bloom. They haven't actually done anything yet, and I was hoping that I wouldn't miss them. Also, we talk about stress and how important stress is to color up your plants. That doesn't just mean heat or drought conditions. It can mean cold too. So you can see all of the beautiful color that's been pulled out of the Fred Ives, the Crassula variegata, look at that, Cameronii. It's normally I have to cut it, dig it up and cut off the roots and set it to get that kind of color. But just from the cold, it's turning a beautiful shade of red. The Sedum Adolphi are very Adolphi-y right now. Some of you may note the milkweed, the broadleaf weeds that are popping up everywhere. But, after the rain, these are really easy to pull. And they are on a taproot, so it's very, very, very rewarding to get a butter knife or a little tool underneath and off with their heads. Even my honeysuckle is honeysuckling. Look at that. This is another one I tend to cut back because it can get a little, leggy and gross. But yeah, we even have a bloom. And blooms up top. Here's a beaut. Love it. Love, love, love that. Oh, look at this. Bougainvillea. You would never know it was January, would you? My grapefruit tree that just never quits, although, I'm pretty much all about the Graptosedum ghosties in here now. They're really eating the grapefruit tree, but I still think it's a neat look, and I'm going to encourage it as long as I continue to get fruit. Euphorbias tend to drop their leaves in the cold temps. This little variegated millii hasn't got the memo yet. It's still full of leaves. Wow, just when I think that this pot-o Bougainvillea can't get prettier, look at that. It's just exploding. It's so, so beautiful. And all of the giant weeds underneath it. This little Aeonium kiwi was a volunteer, just fell off and rooted. That's super cute. Oh my gosh. My little cactus. My little euphorbia is looking a little scarred. But it still has a pretty side. We'll just turn it that way. And there's a big pine tree over in the open space. It's throwing needles all the way over here. And I have PTSD because up North California where we live, I am surrounded by ponderosa pines, which are beautiful, but the needles, oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. Look at this South African falcata propeller plant. It's got a couple of new growths, new branches off of that. That's pretty cool. Weeds, weeds, weeds. The first thing I see. Ugh. This euphorbia is still euphorbiaing. It hasn't dropped its leaves. It's got a little flower coming right there in the middle. Looking very, very happy. These fabulous gutters that are absolutely in the right place. The ones in my yard that get most of the shade. Couldn't look better. This milii in the corner also looking great. This little euphorbia though, see how it's starting to drop its leaves? Some of you have been sending me pictures on Instagram at Laura Loves Succulents, begging for help. Oh my gosh, I can't find anything on the internet. All the leaves are falling off my plant. What do I do? Well, first thing you do is you ask yourself, what time of year is it? So it is technically winter, and that is going to happen. It's nothing wrong with the plant. It's just going night-night. It's getting ready to hibernate. So the secret, see, look, like it's got, you know, a little discoloration on the leaf there. To the untrained eye, this would look like a sick plant, wouldn't it? You'd think, oh God, what's wrong with it? Nothing. It's just going to sleep. So your job is to protect it from frost first and foremost, and then stop watering. Since it is going to sleep, it is not going to have the ability to intake water. So if you water heavily at this point, guess what? It's going to rot. This snowflake is looking so good. At some point, I'm going to take this out of the pot and put it in the ground where it can really expand. I have a lot of projects this summer, or I should say spring, that I want to work on. The Gayei looks fantastic with its 2 branches, but you can see also not a big fan of the cold weather and has dropped all of its leaves. The Aeonium procera just continues to grow. I keep cutting off the branches, much to Hannah's regret. Every time it throws off a branch, I cut it because out here, I like the straight look of this plant. I've got a gnarly one out front. But see up the tippity top, those last 12 or 18 inches are all this year's growth. My every garden needs a phallus. Phallus is looking good. It's even starting to bloom. I think it's quite excited with the change of weather. Look at that. Getting ready to explode. Loving my Susan Ock pot. This is a baby actually from this plant, so you can see on this euphorbia, that's about it. Yeah, that's about all the blooms do, but look it's okay. The bees just love it. Pollen's pollen, huh, bud? Yeah. If you look very closely, they really are quite lovely, the flowers. They're small, but they're very, very pretty. And the toolbox continues its march of decomposition, just falling apart. Look at that. Oh dear. But the plants in it could not be happier, could they? Just absolutely loving it. You can probably feel the warmth from the sun right through the screen, can't you? Oh God, that sun feels so good. I swear I became thank you, Bentley. I became vitamin D deficient while I was up at the ranch. Okay, thanks for keeping us safe. So I feel like I am coming out from a fog and just taking it in. I should probably take all my clothes off, huh? So that I can get all that good vitamin D. Maybe later. All right. This mangave, this is Kaleidoscope, I believe. This was a cutting and a gift from my friend Randy at Sea Greenscapes. And I just stuck it here to see what would happen a couple of months ago. And what happened is it has rooted and is throwing off some beautiful new growth. So that is so cool. I may have to rehome it at some point. We'll see how it goes. And this little Crested Lucier, variegated Lucier that I got from Oasis, oh, Jesus, just is not disappointed. It has been here, I don't know, at least 6 months, maybe longer, and it has looked this good every single day. That is such a winner. Oh my goodness, what do we got back here besides pine needles and all my sweet alyssum that's coming up and my weeds? Huh, look at my blue ball. You can hardly see it back there now. Remember last year my goal was to try to plant this prison wall, cover it up. I'm feeling pretty good about the progress. The Bougainvillea is not going to look good at all for very much longer. It'll probably drop most of its leaves and basically be sticks most of February, March, and into April. So that'll be a good time to kind of prune it back a little bit. And I'll shape some of the other plants that are down here too as needed. But all in all, I'm super happy with the way that looks. And this Crassula orbiculata is so beautiful. What else? What else? Look, even my topsy-turvy, granted it's quite patinaed now, isn't it? I should probably paint these, you think? Again, they're kind of faded. Hannah likes the way it looks. I don't hate it. It's a look. But look how good. I did this project a couple of years ago, and I thought, well, okay. But man, has it ever stood the test of time. I really haven't had to do much in the way of maintaining these pots. Most of the plants, I would say probably 75% of the plants that are in here were original to these pots. And all I've had to do is pull them out, cut them off, and reset them. The Stephanotis also will probably lose a lot of its leaves over the next couple of months, but that's okay. The wisteria also has gone to sleep. It'll be one of the first things that'll bounce back. Probably in late February, I'll get some really beautiful flowers on the wisteria. Still no babies on that Attenuata variegata.
Well, you did take one off.
I took a few off, actually. I think before I dug her up and reset her because she was pointing the wrong direction, I managed to harvest 3 or 4 pups. But that was a few years ago, and she hasn't done anything since. So I just pray I get some more babies before she turns up her toes. My roses, I'll be needing to cut those back. I'll be sure to make a video out of it because some of you have asked. You know, I'm sure there's a better way and a more scientific way, but I just do what I do. So, you know, please caveat. This is what I do. I'm not saying it's what you should do, but I will show you how I trim back these Eden climbers, and it's worked for me. This blue glow will also have to go at some point pretty soon. It's starting to move its way into the walk path, and this plant will probably almost double in size before it blooms out. So sad as it is, I'll probably have to rehome it. And the lemon tree, Han. Woo! Look at our lemon tree. I mean, it's not 100%, but my gosh, can you even recognize it from just say 3 months ago when I was at the point of thinking that I was just going to get rid of it? I'm so glad I didn't. I thank you all again for your great advice on how to fertilize it and add Epsom salts to green up the leaves. That freesia in there, I keep trying to get rid of those bulbs, but they keep coming back. But I want to give all the energy to the tree as much as I possibly can, so I may go after those. But look at all of the new growth and the little tiny lemons. Oh man, this is exciting. I think we're going to have a great haul this year. Very excited about that. This Crested Sunburst Aeonium, I don't think has ever looked better. Isn't it gorgeous? Wow, this got a little scrubby in the summer. You know, more dead than alive. It's got, you know, thousands and thousands of little flowers on it that basically dried up in the summertime. Mom is looking lively. But yeah, this whole tapestry isn't really a tapestry anymore, so I'll have to make decisions about it. Do I like it or do I not like it? And I'll let you know. What do we have down here? We've got a couple of Agave Lofanta quadricolors that are going to need homes. Lots of sweet alyssum. My Totem Cactus is looking great. I haven't done a thing to this or with this since I planted it back in October. These gutters are looking good. as well. Not as good as the other, but you know, you take it what you can get. The color on the California Sunset sedums is more pronounced on this side because it does get more sun. I mean, look at that. That's impossible. Damn. That is so gorgeous. And then the sweet, sweet pink lilac of this. So pretty. Oof. When I was back in the day when I was doing succulent top pumpkins, I used to raid my gutters for these rosettes. It would kill me to do it, but what are you gonna do? Even my pink jasmine that I planted here in this pot to cover up my trash cans and grow on the janky trellis, I was worried about it not being here for 2.5 weeks and not getting any water, but I guess the amount of rain we got was enough. It looks fine, doesn't it? This is another one that'll start blooming in January. Oh, we're in January. Yeah, we should start to see some blooms on this pretty soon. It'll be very fragrant. And no garden tour is complete without the Garden of Death, right? So we've got planting cans, and this is the dealie, the thing that I drain the pond with when we have a heavy rain. But these are just leftover plants that, you know, weren't completely dead, but almost dead, so I just threw them over here. Look at this. The fact that they've been completely and utterly ignored for months and months on end. This Mr. Toothy is beautiful. I've got Kalanchoe orgialis down there. A beautiful fleshy Argentia sunset. Here's an example. It's all green because it doesn't get any sunlight. So I'll move that into the sun and it'll yellow right up. This is a Cameronii. The leaves are just so fat. It's going to be a great plant. I got a couple of ungies there. This is, I pull from this plant. This is a Crassula Argentia sunset. And typically it does have more color, and I will pull cuttings when I'm making arrangements. I've got a nice striata there. Just some random Cameronii, Aeoniums. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just, you know, a little of this and a little of that. Got my jasmine. This is my star jasmine that I cut back all the time. But I really do love the way it smells in the spring. And then, oh dear, looks like we lost a frond from the king palm. Have to take care of that. And then, you know, the front here, basically just barrel cactus. My love-hate relationship with my Aeoniums. They look great right now because it's winter. When these three finish flowering, I'll just cut them back. Just the flowering part. The Aluaudia procera out here, see, I let it go. It's very octopusy. Look at all those crazy arms. It's a little rough for the wear. You know, it's another one not loving the cold. So don't be surprised if your Aluaudia drops all of its leaves. Same rules apply. Withhold water if it drops all of its leaves. I keep threatening, oh, this looks good. Remember when we redid this bed? What was that, a couple months ago? This aloe has got a pup down there, because that is technically a bush aloe. I wondered why it wasn't bushing, but this is one of the prettiest blue glows I have ever seen. And the little clumps of Aeonium look so good. Over here, the agave podatorum, a mystery aloe back there. Yeah, I like the openness and the look of the rock. I'm really, really happy with this. I've been threatening for months to redo these pots. You know, I'm always complaining about how I can't get them to line up. One is always better looking than the other. Then it just occurred to me, why do I need to leave the sticks on fire in them at all? I'm always battling, trying to get the sticks to match. Well, I'm just going to take the sticks out and I'm going to do something else. I don't know what, but something, and you will all be along for the ride. Oh my goodness, look at this. My leftover Sunburst Aeoniums. These have been schlepped around to probably 3 or 4 projects. I think some of them predate Los Angeles. But they, again, it's their season and they're looking great. I've got the clamshell. Look at how beautiful that is looking. Oh, that is fantastic. I'm very happy with that. In my little dichotoma. Yeah. Ooh, it's got a little bit of something going on in there. I'm gonna treat that with a little bit of insecticidal soap. Get whatever that is. It could just even be dirt, and yeah, I may be being a little extra, but I don't care. I don't want to lose this plant. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then woo-wee, look at this Mediopicta alba, and these variegated Crassula ovatas were leftovers from a job, so those will get moved in. We have next week I will be doing some maintenance, and I've got a couple of consultations up in Los Angeles on Sunday of this week. The inquiries are really starting to come in. Let me know if you'd like to virtually consult. If you don't live in the San Diego area, but you'd like to get my eyes on your hot mess, I'm available. Just go to my website at designforserenity.com and follow the links to get my eyes on your yard. Lots coming up. We're booked through February. Lots of exciting projects. We will be back at the Big Poway Mansion again this spring for phase 2. That's going to be very exciting. We've got a couple of new crew members for you to get to know. All said and done, things are just rolling right along for Design for Serenity. I thank you all for your contributions to our success. This has been Laura Eubanks reporting from her garden in Chula Vista 2 weeks. No. After being gone for 2 whole weeks. Peace out, everybody. Bye.